I'm going to try working on this piece with more of a determined outcome. I have an African American boxer that I drew from my head. I'm going to mix up a phthalo blue and a alizarin crimson. I want a purple. And I want that cool shadow thing happening. Light is coming from above, so I want some shadows on his body and on his face. And I'm just going to rush through this. I'm not going to be super precious and precise with it. Try to get some of the shadows on his face, nose, mouth. Okay. And I'm going to use some this is burnt sienna. I wish I had burnt umber. Couldn't find it. Oh, I guess I do have burnt umber. But it's watercolor, not acrylic. But let's just see what happens. Now, if this is a boxing match in the arena, there would be it would be dark in the arena. You'd see some people's faces. And I'm not even worried if I'm going outside the lines that I'm drawing. I can always paint over those and fix it later. This is mostly about speed and getting it down. I'm not mixing any opaque color yet. I'm just putting down color that's more transparent. I still want to see my lines of my drawing. And even if I'm a little off, it's okay. It doesn't bug me. So I'll fix it later. I'll go dark with his shoes. I'll make his stool straight red. I got already scarlet. Try scarlet. Usually you would do this instead of directly on your palette. You'd put down some wet paper towel for acrylic so that it would stay wet longer, because it'll dry right away. That's the nature of acrylics. And even if I'm off, I can fix it, because I know I'm going to be painting black in the background, so I can cover up all these areas where the paint went outside the line of his body. I also want his gloves to be red, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And let's see, I want his shorts to be black, the trunks. I don't have black out, but I do have some Payne's Gray from my watercolor palette. I'm just going to go ahead and use that. I do think I need something darker. In order to mix a dark value, instead of using a straight black, you can mix a blue with burnt umber or burnt sienna, and that'll get you a nice dark value that's kind of neutral. I don't know if I like this color that I'm mixing over here. it's a little dark to me, but let's just, normally I would have a spot where I would test, and that's pretty, alright, I'll use that. And this area was still wet, so that's why it's bleeding. I'm gonna see if I can use that to my advantage. It might bleed into the stool, I don't know, but we'll see. Painting his shoes, his boots, because they should match. I don't like it when people's outfits don't match color-wise. Just feels like they're not even trying, you know? I like the way that's coming out. Still needs more brown in his body, though. Still, to me, a little bit on the light side. And some of this might be coming up too. Like it might reactivate the color that I've already put down. This is more watercolor, not the acrylic that I put down. In an ideal world, you would do a bunch of paint tests with acrylic, paint tests with gouache, paint tests with watercolor, whatever, right? Just so that you know that what you're doing is predictable. Not wild about the way the shorts turned out. I'm going to try and fix that with, what do you call it? Paper towels. Not paper towels, a hair dryer. I want it to dry quickly. I have a hair dryer, but I'm not going to turn it on just yet. But I haven't spent much time on this, and I've just really been trying to establish the colors, just the local colors. I'm going to switch brushes so I can get a little bit more detail. And all of this is already established with the initial drawing that you can see underneath here. I'm not going to worry about all this anatomy and stuff. I think that's close enough to just say, okay, I've established some shadow values, I've established the local colors. I'm going to let it dry. I'll play more with the gloves a little bit. And I'm treating the the acrylic, like it's watercolor, just doing it in thin washes. Because eventually you can make it become opaque, but I'm not going opaque from the get-go. So just to explain what I would do here, I'm gonna put down some black, and I'm gonna look for areas that are done. So the crowd is gonna be in the shadows, right? Because the lights are on here. I would just outline and then just cover it up. So this is what I would do for that background area. Maybe not a straight black. I'm just doing straight black because it's convenient. But I might mix up like a dark purple or dark blue or something to just say, okay, so this is where it spreads out. And I would do this here, But I'm covering up all these areas that where the paint went outside his body, right? I don't need to worry about it. See, because I can clean up the lines. I mean, you may want some of that to come in. Like this mistake here where it just bled in. It happens. Not a big deal. Let it play. I'm not going to do all of this, but I just wanted you to get the idea of how I'm doing a paint over, covering up stuff here. Like you can see how opaque this is compared to how transparent that is. But it's really up to you how far you want to take it, or how opaque you want to get at this point. But I just wanted to show that I'm establishing the painting with a thin wash, and then I'm going to go back in and get thicker, progressively thicker and more opaque. Alright, so that part is established, and I like the pattern of warm and cool on his face. And I can try going in with some colors, like say that there's going to be multiple lights hitting this dude from different angles. So you're not going to necessarily have like a really good sense of light logic. Might still be a little wet. Let me try this white. Try and get some highlights. Let's try shoelaces. That's kind of harmless. And I'm just making these marks, not even really super precise. They're just scribbly abstract. But you glance at it, it'll be like, oh, shoelaces. And, you know, maybe wrinkles and, you know, maybe some nice white highlight on his shoe. I do have some white. So, oh, it's already almost dried out. So I can get like a highlight on his shoe, maybe some on the, and it's pretty loose what I'm doing here. I'm just relying on the viewer's eye to make it look realistic. Like what I'm doing is just indicating what's happening here on his belt. Wraps on his wrist. It's still wet. I need to give it time to dry. But for the sake of the demo, I'm rushing. I'm going to tip it so I can see whether or not the areas are wet. I'm going to mix a little bit of yellow ochre in with the white, because I don't want it to be a pure white on his forehead. I want it to be like white mixed with a little bit of color, in the sense that the light has a temperature. It's like warm or it's cool. I probably went overboard with the highlights on his face, but that's all I wanted to get going. It's too wet to do the pencil right now. Like I can just sort of try to get some highlights on his skin. I mean, if he's in about to fight, he's going to have all kinds of reflections. And if you wet the white too much, it mixes and it doesn't look as good. It really needs to be dry. But I'm rushing just because I don't want this to take forever. I want you all to get going on your pieces. I wish this was kind of live so that we could talk while I'm doing this. I don't know if I really like all of that. I think it's more messy than I would like for it to be. But for the sake of the demo, I think it's okay. Just got some shadows, got some local color, got some highlights. I don't know if still feels wet. It's too wet for the pencil to catch on to my satisfaction. The pants still need some work, and if I tip it, you can kind of see the wet spots. But I just slapped that together because I already had the drawing established, so I could put down a middle value for and shadows and stuff. And you can be more careful than I did. I just really rushed through this. So good luck with your pieces. I can show you this other piece. I did this demo, but I was kind of rambling on. But I did a practice thing just so I could experiment with colors to see what I would like and how would they turn out. This was a session where the model dressed up like an elf, like a Keebler elf, and I just did all the drawings on the same page. So anyway, I think this one's more effective as a demo. Okay, so I hope that helps you. I just used mainly watercolor, acrylic, or rather acrylic, the leftover watercolors that were on this palette. And when this is dry, I could go back in with colored pencils. I could get the hairdryer, but it's just too loud and noisy. Anyway, good luck with your stuff.